Welcome to day 2 of PLMA's 2013 Private Label Trade Show. I'm Jody Daly, and with me is President of PLMA, Brian Sheriff.
Good morning.
Well, we're going to get straight to the floor and see what our two exploring reporters have found. We start first with Michael Sansolo on the food side.
Jody, we're back down here on the exhibit floor, and as always, so many great things to see. But let's deal with the challenges that every consumer has these days, and I'm no different. We're busy, we work a lot of hours, and a lot of us really don't know how to cook. So we want to have good tasting food, we don't know how to get it on the table. Well, down here at Cuisine Solutions in booth 2822, they've got some stuff that consumers would just love. I know I like this. What they are doing, and here is the package, and they are using what's a French technique called sous vide, where they take all the air, they have the food, and they vacuum pack it. That's what sous vide means. Now what happens is, you bring this home, you have it in your freezer, you pull it out on the night you want to cook, toss it in the microwave oven. Now this is lamb shanks. I couldn't make a lamb shank if my life depended on it. I put this in the microwave, and 8 minutes later, I've got lamb shanks. And in fact, this package in particular, the lamb shanks are packed separately, so if you're a single person living at home, you make one. How fabulous is that? Now, Jody, they are cooking up all kinds of things down here. I asked them, you know, because it's kind of early in the day, I asked them to make me scrambled eggs, if you can believe it, with meat. And here's the meat. Let's toss a little egg in there. It's good I talk to everybody with food in my mouth. It's wonderful. This is an easy way to get a great tasting meal on the menu and do it at your home. Let's go see some more stuff on the show floor, Jody. Hey, Jody. As I walk around the floor this year, there are so many new products and new ingredients to see, but it's important we remember those big trends that are really changing the consumer, changing the foods that we eat. And I don't think anything is bigger than the burgeoning Hispanic population in the United States. It is now the largest minority, and for retailers, this brings some interesting issues. You've got Hispanics from all over the Latin American world, Mexico, Puerto Rico, all the way down to the very tip of South America. So how do you find the right products to appeal to the shoppers that you have? And by the way, let's remember, Anglos like me, we like to eat this stuff too. Well, I'm here at Spanish Food Solutions in booth 1272, where they've got a variety of goods that will appeal to this increasing population. This is a great place to stop by, taste a couple of these items, and get a sense of what you can bring into your store. Now, one of the ones they really wanted me to try, I like French fries. I know I shouldn't, but I do. This is a fry. Now, one of the ones they really wanted me to try, I like French fries. I know I shouldn't, but I do. This is a fry made with yuca, which is more of a root. Really, really tasty. I gotta tell you, Jody, you gotta come down here and get one of these. They also have sweet plantains. Again, a delicious dish. They have some of the traditional Mexican things we all know, like guacamole and salsa. They've got passion fruit drinks. It is the kind of food that you need to have to service this population. And again, you introduce them to the Anglos. I mean, I just tried this. I could see this becoming a habit. So Jody, get on down here to the floor to see me. But till then, let's go back to you in the newsroom.
Thank you so much, Michael. Now, from the home and health side, we've got Bob Vosberg. Hi, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Jody. It's day 2 on the floor, still very busy, still a lot of new products to talk about. Here's one at booth 512, D-Best Products. This is called the Smart Cart. Empty, it weighs less than 3 pounds, it folds up very easily, and what's more, it's easy to collapse. Less than 2 inches, fold it up. Not bad, huh? Now this answers a lot of questions for consumers. What do they do with old plastic bags? They can't be reused forever. A lot of retailers are charging for plastic bags now. Communities have even banned plastic bags overall. So something like this becomes very important. Also in urban environments, a lot of retailers are opening small format stores back in the cities. A lot of those people don't have cars, there's no parking anyway. How do they get all those groceries to their home? Something like this comes in very handy. And D-Best has any number of products here. They've got a tote style, they've got one for refrigerated and frozen goods. They also have a larger size that holds up to 125 pounds of groceries. So something like this becoming more and more important as retailers go back into the cities and people become more environmentally conscious. This next product is so new. It's from Global Tissue Group, and they haven't even put it out on the floor yet. It's called the Cargo. What it is basically, it's a pack of tissues in a reusable pack that attaches to the back of your sun visor. You know, it means you don't have to go ahead and put in the clunky boxed tissues into your round cup holder and the console. This is a really convenient item, something that adds value to an existing product that they've been making for a while. And by doing this, they generate repeat purchases, and this is something a lot of manufacturers are looking at. Ways to go ahead and take existing products and get that repeat purchase from the consumer by creating a companion item such as this sun visor tissue box. And in case you've run out, here is a 6-pack for refills. Same size, fits right in. So here we are at booth 400, Global Tissue Group. Jody, if you want to take a look at this, tell them Bob sent you.
Thank you so much, Bob.
You know, Jody, for many products, the most important issue is often the packaging. To compete with national brands requires the same kind of highly attractive packaging as they use. Matching the brands can be expensive. Dave Merrifield spoke with Bruce Kern, a packaging consultant who knows the ins and outs of packaging store brands.
Welcome, Bruce. Thanks for joining us. Well, let's start at the beginning. How important is packaging anyway?
Well, packaging has evolved to be extremely important in all consumer products. Big evolution based on the consumer needs, but I think packaging could be one of the more important attributes of any marketed product today.
Well, just give me an example then of the importance that it brings to a product.
Well, I think there's probably a couple of different areas where today's consumer looks at packaging as a medium to basically deliver information. She's looking for, or he's looking for, product attributes. You know, does it have specific certifications, be it organic or gluten-free? You know, nutritional ingredients are much more important. So the consumer is focusing on packaging much more today, I think, than any time in the past.
And I suppose its basic function really is the protection of the product during the distribution stream and when it sits on the shelf and so on.
Well, certainly protection's important. And you know, what's interesting about that protection statement is that protection has changed a great bit due to new packaging substrates. You know, what historically might have been packaged in a box now may be in a tri-folded poly bag. You know, baby food that used to, if you remember, was in a glass jar, you know, or in plastic containers or in pouches today. So not only has the consumer been given new alternatives in packaging substrates, but also the convenience factor has changed dramatically.
Well, now we've been speaking a little bit about consumers. Now, I have seen a couple of surveys that suggest that according to the consumers themselves who responded to these surveys, they claim that they are not really that influenced in their purchasing decision by the packaging itself. Is that true?
Yeah, I would disagree with that, David. I think the consumer really has shifted his or her opinion of the packaging or of the product based on the packaging. And so from that perspective, I think if you walk the floor here today, you're going to see a lot of new, unique packages that maybe have never been shown before. And I think that's driven by the consumer more so than manufacturing efficiencies or cost efficiencies.
All right, so you're saying at the bottom of the whole thing is really the consideration of the consumer rather than the backstage effect of making the packaging.
Yeah, I think the point I'm making is that the consumer drives it. I think there's underlying benefit that's derived from the changes. The suppliers can maybe get better pack out utilization. They may get some cost savings related from a new package. And then at the end of the day, the retailer benefits as well because less shelf space is required. So that there were days when a box was built because it would give a manufacturer a much bigger platform on the shelf. Today, retailers don't really want that kind of wasted space. So the manufacturers are being forced to make decisions relative to smaller, more compact packages as well.
Well, thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, David.
Well, sooner or later, the question is, what are retailers looking for at this year's show? Howard Papula, Vice President of Quality Control at Topco, is here, and he comes to the job with nearly 20 years in manufacturing, retail, and food service management. I can't thank you enough for being here, Howard. How are you?
Thank you, Jody. I'm good.
Good. Well, first question. When it comes to, your specialty is in quality control,
Yes.
right? So how good are suppliers at maintaining that quality control?
Well, it's taken a whole lot of time for the private label manufacturers to get to where we are today.
Are they getting better?
And they're getting better. The mantra has always been, that we want to be equal to or better than the national brand. And from the over 70,000 SKUs that I have responsibility for, I can confidently tell you that we are at par, and in several cases ahead of the national brand when it comes to question of quality.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, there is no point. That's why consumers prefer private brands out there, and the list is growing.
Well, talking about private label suppliers, what would you say is the most important thing for them to understand?
Suppliers of private brands have to understand that safety and quality goes hand in hand. That if you want to compete out there with the national brands, you have to provide a product that meets the same quality level as a targeted national brand that you have out there. The days of junk suppliers in the private label world is over. Many retailers are in the suppliers' facilities, auditing them, making sure that they have products that meet specifications that is agreed upon. Suppliers also need to innovate because every single day we have newer products from the national brands. And so we need to do a better job of fast following those national brands.
Okay, you bring up a really good point about suppliers, and there's been a huge controversy about retailers going overseas for their suppliers. Do you see any safety or quality issues involved in that?
There's always an element of safety and quality issue that will be involved anytime you go outside of the shores. Number one is the fact that you're not there to see what is going on in those facilities. Some suppliers, some retailers try to have a representation there, but they're never there 24 hours a day. The quality level is always going to be different, except you take a formula from the United States and you take it out there. And then there's the issue of social responsibility. For a retailer that goes outside of the country, we must be responsible. We must make sure we have our processes in place to make sure that the suppliers that we're dealing with overseas have the necessary precautions in place to make sure that people are not being abused and people are not held against their will and are not working just for peanuts. If we do that, the consumers will be after us for it.
Well, switching gears for just a second, you have been on the floor. You've seen all of the things that have been going on during our private label show this year?
Yes.
What do you think? Any little things catching your eye?
I tell you what, I'm very, very excited walking the floor because I'm seeing some of the things that I haven't seen before at PLMA shows. I'm seeing niche products. I'm seeing suppliers responding to the needs of the American consumers. I'm seeing gluten-free products out there. Because of the trends we're seeing today, is more and more people are being diagnosed with celiac disease. And we need gluten-free formulations out there. I go out there, I'm seeing suppliers presenting formulas that are GMO-free, non-GMO. This is a step up for our suppliers. And we're seeing certain products that we've never seen before. Niche products, specialty products that otherwise you do not relatively, marry with national brands. And so it's an exciting time for private label manufacturers out there. And I'm excited for the direction that we're going.
Well, thank you for ending on a very up note, and we appreciate you being here, Howard Papula. And today, we are also going to be looking at Kurt Goldschmidt at the Idea Supermarket, where retailers around the world are displaying their new product ideas. Kurt?
Thanks, Jody. As you know, there are nearly 60 gondolas here in the Idea Supermarket, full of products selected from the private label programs of retailers in the US, Canada, and around the world. Here's a look at some kitchen and household products which have attracted attention at the show. Let's start by taking a look at the Living Solutions line from Walgreens. It was the classy black packaging that first caught my eye. Look closer though, and you can tell right away the items themselves have the kind of high-end styling you might expect to find in products sold at a much pricier kitchen specialty store. I was especially impressed with the small appliances. For one thing, each of them is backed with a 2-year warranty. And whether it's the rice cooker or the hot plate, a single-serve coffee maker with its own insulated travel mug, or a personal blender for taking shakes and smoothies on the go, the items seem ideally suited for singles, students, apartment dwellers, or perhaps even a home office. It's not just the kitchen where store brands are standing out. They can just as easily dress a table for entertaining. Enter the Threshold brand from Target. Threshold is Target's own tabletop line of serveware, table linens, and glassware. Great styling is not the only thing that sets the collection apart, however. The wine decanter, cocktail glasses, and even the delicate-looking stemware are made from borosilicate glass, so they are top rack of the dishwasher safe for easy cleanup. That's some of what's new in store brands for the home. Back to you, Jody.
Thank you, Kurt. Well, day 2 is underway, and we will be back this afternoon with the final report from the show floor.
And a special wine tasting.
Well, now we're talking.
Yeah.
So we'll see you later.